Shalom and good evening. We're going to revisit a teaching that I did 2 or 3 nights ago about the rapture being in the Tanak or the Old Testament. I want to go back and read these verses and then make a few more comments about the fact is that a lot of people say that the rapture is just a New Testament thing. It's not in the Old Testament or the Tanakh. And the truth is, it was also revealed in the Tanakh or the Old Testament, but without knowledge of the event itself being described in other places throughout the scriptures, you might not even realize this is what it was talking about. Reading through these verses in the book of Isaiah, so we're going to go back and read starting in verse 19 of chapter 26 of Isaiah. It says, "Your dead men shall live." Of course, this is the prophet Isaiah speaking, and he's saying, "Your dead men shall live together with my dead body. They shall arise." Now, let me stop here for a moment. This, of course, is describing a resurrection. Now, there's different resurrections described throughout the scriptures. The Mashiach, the Messiah, he is the first one to be raised from the dead. He's the first fruits of the resurrection. And then Paul makes reference to the different phases of different resurrections taking place in the book of 1 Corinthians, talking about that there's different resurrections, that we all have our own order that's been set forth. The tribulation, what I call the tribulation saints, these will be people that have received the Messiah during the tribulation time frame, that have paid the price, the ultimate price of giving up their lives and being slain for the sake of the gospel. They will be resurrected at the end of the tribulation. Those that have died during the tribulation themselves, those that have died for the sake of the gospel. The Old Testament saints shall also be resurrected. That's those that have died before the Messiah paid the price for our sins. Those that died in faith, looking forward to the coming Mashiach, will be raised at the end of the tribulation as well. And that's also described in the book of Daniel, and I believe it's chapter 9. But anyway, it's in the book of Daniel, talking about his people that would be resurrected or raised at that time. Now, the resurrection of those that are in Messiah, in Mashiach, will take place before the tribulation takes place, and we've covered this in a number of videos. And the fact is that the Apostle Paul said in 1 Corinthians chapter 15, verses 51 and 52, he said, "Behold, I show you a mystery. We shall not all sleep or die, but we shall all be changed in a moment, in the twinkling of an eye, at the last trumpet. For the trumpet shall sound, and the dead in Messiah shall rise first." So all those that have died in Messiah since the beginning of the church will be raised first, and then we which are alive and remain on the earth shall be raised up together with them, and this mortal shall have put on immortality, this corruptible shall have put on incorruption. He also describes it over in 1 Thessalonians chapter 4, verses 13 through 18, where he said that that we will be caught up to meet the Messiah in the air, and so shall we ever be with Messiah. And now this speaks of a resurrection here, and of course in Isaiah chapter 26, starting at verse 19, he said, "Your dead men shall live together with my dead body. They shall arise." That's the resurrection. "Awake," and now let's notice when this is going to take place. "Awake and sing, you that dwell in dust, for your dew is as the dew of herbs, and the earth shall cast out the dead." Again, a description of the resurrection, this is also a description of the pre-trib rapture. Now, the reason that this proves a pre-trib rapture, if you read the next few verses, notice it says this: "Come, my people." Now, again, some people would say, well, that's talking about the Jews, the Yahudim. Well, this is really specifically talking about his people at this time. At this time that this event takes place, we know that only those in Messiah will be raised at the resurrection of the righteous, when the Mashiach comes to catch us to be with him where he is. Only the church is resurrected at that time. Now, again, if you don't understand that, when I of course say the church, I'm not talking about, say, quote, the Christian church or whatever. I'm talking about the real believers, those that are born again of the Ruach HaKodesh, the set-apart spirit, whether they be Jew or Gentile. These are the people that's going to be raised at that time. And this, it comes before this time frame in verse 20 and 21. And this is now the speaker here shifts over to the Creator, Yahuah. He says in verse 20, "Come, my people, enter into your chambers, and shut the doors about you. Hide yourself, as it were, for a little moment, until the indignation," of course this is the indignation is the wrath of Yahuah, "until the indignation be overpast. For behold, look," pay attention, "Yahuah comes out of his place to punish the inhabitants of the earth for their iniquity. The earth also shall disclose her blood, and shall no more cover her slain." Again, this is an event that's never taken place throughout history, that Yahuah has come out of his dwelling place to punish the earth. We know this is a definite reference to the day of Yahuah, or as I've talked about, it's also referred to as Jacob's trouble, this 7-year time frame, which most people refer to as the 7-year tribulation, but it's not really accurate to call it that, because it's more accurate to call it what it is. It's Jacob's trouble, and it's also Daniel's 70th week, when Yahuah will finish the 7 years that were left to deal with his people and to bring about before the coming kingdom to the earth. And so he has finished work to do with the nation of Yasharel, because they will come to a recognition of who their Messiah or their Mashiach is during this time frame. But again, I wanted you to see out of this that the resurrection that's talking about here happens before Yahuah comes out of his dwelling to punish the earth for their iniquities. So when people want to try to tell you that the rapture happens at the end of the tribulation, not according to this right here. It says specifically that he called his people to come out and to hide ourselves in his chambers. And of course, this is not a place on the earth. He's not going to hide us here on the earth. He's going to fulfill a promise that Yahushua declared in the Gospel of John chapter 14, where he said that he was going away. He said, "Let not your heart be troubled. Believe in Elohim, believe also in me. In my Father's house are many mansions." And he said, "I go and prepare a place for you, that where I am, there you may be also." And so he said he would come again and receive us unto himself. He didn't say, "I'm coming to live with you on the earth." No, he said, "I'm coming to get you and to receive you unto myself." We'll pick this up on our next session. So thanks for you joining in this evening. Please share this with others. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't already. As I've mentioned a number of times, there's over 1,200 videos that you can view and feast upon and receive. I teach more on just than the rapture of the church. There's a whole lot of other teachings, but I'm instructed by Yahuah to focus upon this. We're going to do some more on this particular topic until I'm directed that we need to do something different. But for right now, this is what we're going to be sharing about, because I believe that it's important, because I honestly believe that we're very close, a matter of maybe even days before he comes. But we don't know the day or hour. I'm not saying I know the day or the hour. I'm just saying is that I know it's so close. And I know the urgency of the hour that he wants his people to know. So thank you for your time this evening. And until then, shalom.